Hello, 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 everyone! Welcome, welcome. Art Fight has officially ended. It's over. It's done. It's no law. It is finite. So I thought it would be appropriate if we had a bit of a wrap up to celebrate and just reminisce over all that has happened this July. Let me find some more chill music, actually. Oh, this one claims to be chill. All right. So, let's start with looking at my current battle stats. Team Tragedy. Battle ratio 73.63%. Points 3,023.75. Attacks 53, friendly fire 14, defenses 24. This is without a doubt my best year in Art Fight. Last year in 2025, I believe I only did 35 attacks total. And this year, yeah, I doubled it. I more than doubled it. No, not quite. I didn't quite double it. I almost doubled it. Last year I did 35. This year I did 67. 3 more and I would have doubled it. I did 4. Well, that's still good, Freighter. That's still great. Also, yes. Hi, SiriBot. Thank you for keeping us safe. Hi, Astro Calico. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Freighter. Thank you for joining us. Super heckin' appreciate y'all being here. So, this year really gave me, well, I had a lot of time to work this year. And for those who have been around for the last couple of months, you've probably heard me mention it at least a few times. Early May, I lost my job. And ever since in early June, I hit the affiliate button. And I've been working my butt off trying to, build up a business out of this. And Art Fight was pretty much my go-to for advertising myself as an artist. So, as I always say at the beginning and end of every stream, if you want to support me, you want to support this, you want to support what I'm doing, it's really, really important that I get support from you guys just through you checking out my VGen, you being here, just either lurking or interacting with the stream. It's endlessly important that you guys be here. I'm so grateful for you guys. I'm so thankful you guys being here. If you guys want to really support me, you go look at my VGen, you go take a look and see the commissions I got on sale. I'm looking to have a sale, like a 20% off sale on my current commissions for this coming week. And I'll be picking I think I've got 8 slots open between the 2 different categories. So if you guys go to my VGen, you want to check that out, I'd super heckin' appreciate it. I'll likely be doing art streams of those commissions if and when they come in after this week, after I've gotten everything set up with my new computer. But that's enough preamble. Let's go take a look at my attacks this year. And we started with Hiritsu. This is Dimothy's character. And I still think this turned out really good. There's some things I probably would have changed about it. I definitely think the line art could have been... doesn't need to be as thick as it was in a few places. I think I could have gone harder on the line art coloring. I think I could have gone harder on the shading for like the light highlights. But I think this was really good. It turned out very cute. Next up, this is Nightwalker. This is Dragon Mother's character. This fur pattern was a pain in the ass to get through. I'm not someone who really does a whole lot of like scale patterns on characters. Like usually when I'm doing fur patterns, I'm doing my best to look for brushes that will sort of like fill in the gaps. That will just sort of do the work for me, as it were. But I think this pattern turned out really good. Now, I don't necessarily think the pose is particularly good. Like, I was trying to get a good, like, leaping, like, pouncing forward sort of look, but I think the fact that I'm only showing one set of limbs on the right side of the creature, I think that makes it look a little flat. And I also don't think the highlights turned out particularly good. Like, I definitely just used... No, I used my regular brush for like these light strokes, but what happens with fur patterns when I'm trying to do like brush strokes like this for the highlights, it just sort of looks like they're just plastered on. Like, the fur texture does not match with the actual fur pattern. And I feel like that does take something out of the image. Like for the hair, for like the mane, it looks fine. But when I've got like an actual pattern on the fur, it does kind of look weird. Alright. Next, this is Esme from Widget the Cat. And I think I could have done more with this. Like, what did I say this was? I said this was minimal shading, and yeah, that's definitely what I ended up doing with this. I do like the speed lines of the leg, like coming up for the kick. I do think that worked out really well. I think the tail is kind of obscuring it a bit. The pose I was using was just a normal human doing this kicking motion, but adding in the tail meant that some of that speed line effect, some of that blur effect was going to get lost. I think it turned out really well, though. I think the anatomy and the foreshortening on like the arms turned out pretty good. Yeah, I think this one turned out really well. Then we have Doe for Ginger Alert. Now, this character was a bit of a challenge for me because the reference that Ginger had posted was just a black and white sketch with this kind of like chalk shading on it. And I thought it was a very cute character design, but without any color to it, I couldn't really like do my usual like flat work. So I had to just basically make a black and white character, just fill in the character with just plain white flats, and then just go really hard with a charcoal brush and just try to shade in as much as I could. I still counted this as fully colored and just listed it as minimal shading. Even though really the shading is all of the coloring. I think it's turned out really well, and it really does make me interested in doing more black and white work. Like, I've been considering experimenting with a more manga-inspired art style to see if I could do like comics in that style and put the same sort of efficiency of my art into something like that. But yeah, I think this turned out really adorable. And then here's Bennett. This is Studio Jumpstar, aka Bug's character. And I loved how this turned out. Like, I adore, like, cats that are just gremlin creatures. And I love how these two cats turned out. I love that one of them is just a wrinkly baby and the other is literally just a black void. And they don't look like they don't look like they don't belong together. Because the black cat has zero shading. Like, it's just a black void, and I made them stick out by using a white outline, which I think really worked. But there's no shading on the cat. The wrinkly one has shading to it. Has a lot more depth to them. But I feel like the silhouette, because the silhouette to them is so similar, I feel like they still work together. If anything, though, I probably would have done some like shading to the line art. I would have added some like highlights to the black cat, just to make it feel like they are also in the scene, like as much as the wrinkly baby is. I also really like the sitting pose. Like, you can kind of tell that that Bennett is like kind of leaning to one side because he's trying to wrangle both these cats. It isn't like I was initially just trying to make him sit like crisscross applesauce, and for whatever reason I was just having issues getting his left leg under his right leg. So I'm just like, okay, he's going to sit kind of cross-legged. He's going to have like one of his heels into the bottom of his other foot. I think it turned out really good, though. I'm really happy with this one, actually. That might be one of my favorites of this year. This one is Azazel for Flappy and TXP. And this is one where I was like, I really want to experiment with perspective. And I think it turned out really well. You can see that the line art on like his hand and like their hand and their head, the line art's a lot thicker than it is down here at their feet. And I feel like that really helped kind of give that effect that everything on the upper half of their body is closer to the camera and everything on their lower half is farther away, by having the line art be a lot more varied in its thickness. Yeah, really like how that one turned out. But in terms of perspective, I generally think this one, Kopi for Minion of the East, I think this one turned out is a lot better. Mostly because I had to actually deal with more fabric. I had to deal with more hair volume. I had to deal with a very similar pose, but from a completely different angle. And that angle did include the underside of the character's chin, which is like one of those things that is like strangely difficult to like figure out, just because that's not something a lot you draw that often. Like this is a very odd perspective. My only criticism about this piece in particular is that I think I drew the glasses too high on the face of the character. I think I needed to drag them down like so that the bottom of the glasses at least came close to touching the bottom of the eye. I think that's my only criticism of this entire piece, but I think on the whole, it is really good. Really good. Right. And we go to the next page. All right, this is Sloan from Dino Lich. This is another perspective in pose that I was a little hesitant to... I was both excited and a little hesitant to attempt. Just because the character's limbs are kind of just all over the place. Like, you really got the arms out wide. You got one leg, the front leg up, and the back leg is down on the skateboard. You got cloth coming around from their waist and just blowing in the breeze. I feel like I did not get the position of the shoulders very good. It's like you can kind of see it. I don't know if you guys are gonna see my pen. Nope, you're not. You can see like the right arm, it goes up to the shoulder, and then there's like a very steep incline from one shoulder to the next, and then it just sort of like plateaus out on the other arm. There's not really a very clean line from one hand to the other hand. So the way the arms are positioned, they're supposed to be out and even, but if you think about the position of the shoulders at all, it looks like one is going forward and the other is going back, kind of. I think that's my only criticism of this piece, but on the whole, I think it is incredibly good. I love how dynamic it is. I think I might have added more of this like blur effect to a few places. I might have added it to like in the background, like make it look like the picture is smearing a bit. But I think it worked out really good. Scammage board, yep. Then this is Mamoru for Tara White. And I saw Tara working on this character's reference sheet like a few weeks before Artfight started. And immediately I was like, oh, this creature is freaky and weird and a bit of a gremlin. And I was like, I kind of want to draw that for Artfight. And I think it turned out really good. I don't necessarily think the pose is very interesting. I think I could have like curled his head and his shoulders to like face the sky more, to like really give this idea is like, oh, he is absolutely bursting with laughter. I think I captured that manic energy though, which was what I was really going for. Yeah, this one's pretty good. Oh, this one, Zira for Crimsony Crime. This is another one where perspective was a bit of a challenge. Like I got one foot coming forward and another foot coming back. The reference sheet I was working off of wasn't making it very clear what the character's weapon was. I honestly thought it was an axe, but apparently it's a hammer. It's supposed to be a hammer. But I love how like the stance came out. Like it really looks very strong and powerful. I think all the line art, as complex as it was, I think it all came out very good. I probably would have gone over the chains again. Like I probably would have tried to figure out how the chains would lay out. Like over again. I actually think I would have toned down the thickness of the line art as well. I think this would have benefited from doing what I did with the other two perspective pictures, where the line art on this leg would be thick, but as you go to the head and the opposite leg, they would be thinner. I think it's turned out very good. I think this turned out, it's very comic booky. Like, I could see this as a comic book character. All right, next. Front Runner from Syrups. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you my biggest criticism of this is that I forgot to put the text on the character's, like, tail fin. Like, this character's got some, like, designation text on its body, and I completely forgot about it. But I think overall, it is still a very solid piece. I think I would have gone over this close foot, this foot that's sort of sticking out that you could see the bottom of it. I think I would have gone over that again, like tried a different pose on it. I also think I probably would have made the other wing visible, like on the other side of the character. And I think the highlight shading is a bit all over the place. Like, in some places it's too bright, in some places it's too dark. Or it's just not in the right place. But I think overall it's very solid. I definitely think I would have gone over this with the colored line art. Because some of the parts of their body are a bit... They're so dark in the shading that you almost lose the line art there. And I think if I had added some, like, actual line shading here and there, that would have helped it, like, really stand out. Got a very solid piece overall, I think. And this is Nicholas from Nostalgia 2004. I like the posing. I like the perspective. I think a hand coming forward is very good. I do think I was cheating a bit with the hand that's like pulling the the bowstring back. I think if I did this pose again, I would probably try to make sure that both hands were visible to some degree. I also think the way the tail flops isn't great. Like, it just sort of like goes out and comes back in at almost like a complete U-turn. It doesn't feel like it flows very, very well. I think it's a good piece, but I think it could have benefited from if I had taken the time to, like, do preliminary sketches, like sketch out actual bow positions. Like, if I had drawn if I looked at people firing bows and, like, drawn the way they pulled them back, this would have been so much better. I think it's pretty solid for my ability, but I know I could do better with this if I practiced this position more. This is Bahroon from Hoonts, and I feel like it turned out really, really good. I was really nervous about doing the scale pattern, but I honestly think it turned out so good. Just going for it, just painting the scales. I figured, like, oh man, I'm gonna have to do line art for a bunch of this to make the scales stand out. No, really, just painting oblong dots here and there. It satisfied the look. I think it turned out really well. Like, I adore this scale pattern. I can't wait to try something like it again. My two criticisms about this piece, though. I think I could have done something different with the... Like, I guess it's weed. It's some sort of smoke. I think I could have done something different with this. I just used a flame pattern brush to make the effect of the smoke, and I think it looks a bit out of place. I think it works, but I could have done something else that was better. And the other thing, his right leg is smaller than his left. Like, I know I'm trying to do, like, perspective and foreshortening on it, but it definitely looks like one leg, calf, like ankle to knee, is bigger on one leg than it is on the other. And I noticed that like a few days after I posted this, and I was kicking myself. I was like, what? That should have been something I noticed. But I think overall, just the fact that the scales turned out so good, it just outweighs any other criticisms I have for this. This is a really good piece. And we got Lapula for Halivardia. And I think this was the first... Well, not counting Huntz's character, I think this is the first dragon I did this year. Hang on, now I'm curious. Hang on. Yeah, technically this is my first dragon of the year. And I think that's turned out beautifully. Like, I love the nature theme for this dragon. I love all the browns and the greens. I was a little worried how I was going to do all the green markings, because the reference sheet for this character was very much, oh, just paint them here, here, or here. Do you think this is the best so far, Freighter? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think this turned out really beautiful. Because I really just... I think I took inspiration from Bahroon with all of his scales. And I just, went like, you know what? I'm just going to paint the fur texture as much as possible. And I think it turned out really good. I didn't continue doing this throughout Artfight, but I do want to experiment more with this kind of painterly coloring style. Yeah, I'm really happy with this one. Only criticism I have is that the glasses are definitely they were something I forgot to add until the last minute, and it kind of shows. It kind of shows they're just a bit tacked on, and I wish I had remembered to to put them into the sketch and like plan out how they were going to fall on the character's nose. But yeah, I think overall this is really damn good. And then we got Gazuzu for I Like Butts, or Only Lambs. And this is kind of where I started realizing, like, oh, I'm really experimenting with body types this year. Like, this is probably one of the chonkiest characters I have ever drawn. Like, I really went all out to figure out how fat is supposed to, like, fold on each other. I was referencing a drawing from Fatty Dragonite. I forget what their pen name is, but they're known for drawing like very hefty characters. I think this turned out really good. Like, you can really feel how chonky this character is. My only criticism is that I think I could have gone over the hands a bit better, because they really kind of look misshapen, I feel. Like, they don't look particularly... They almost look like, the fingers almost look like nubs, but the thumbs look fine. It's a little weird. Yeah, I'm generally happy with it as a whole. And then, speaking of body types, this one was a lot of fun. I don't think I have an affinity for like muscular characters, but every time I draw musculature like this, I'm really happy with how it turns out. I think the rendering, all the shading turned out really well. I think I managed to get all the line art for where the muscles are more defined, like on the abs. I think these are some of the best abs and pecs that I have ever drawn. I referenced I don't know if it's directly from the Full Metal Alchemist manga, or if it's just a doodle that the main artist did, but I was referencing a pose that General Armstrong, or not General, Major Armstrong does. I just thought the pose was like really good for a muscular character like this. Oh, right. This is Krieger from Sharksided. Yeah, I really enjoyed how this one came out. Good definition with the muscles. Good shading all around, I think. I really love how fluffy his mane is. I think the horns look really good. I think this is one of my favorites of this year. And then we have Nikki from Ginger Snap. This is the first like lanky, like really lanky sort of character. Well, we had that one character, that one like really gangly creature from Terra White, but that was very creature coded. Like this is just a normal kid who's just a bit lanky. And I love how the jacket came out. I love the fluff of the collar, and I love the wrinkles where the coat bends at the elbows. I also just really love the dynamicism of the pose. Like, I think this is a really good baseball swing pose. Like, you can feel that she is like swing this thing with all her might, and she is enjoying it. If anything, I think I could have blurred the bat more. Try and get that sense of speed. But I think on the whole, it's just a really solid piece. Like the composition's really good. I was able to get that feeling of like, oh, this one foot down here's got the heel up in the air as she's turning, while the other one is like planted firmly. I think I would have gone over the hair another time, if anything. Because it just sort of looks like she's got a tail of hair coming off from the bottom. It doesn't really feel fully connected to the rest of her hair. Yeah, I think this one's really good. Then we've got Charlotte from this is Tikri's character. Now, I'm not the sort of person to draw, like, firearms. Like, I don't really care much for how overly detailed guns can be. But I think I nailed it without going into too much detail. I think I really managed to nail the design of the gun without adding too much ancillary detail to it. I think I might have adjusted this bent leg here a bit more, because it kind of looks like it's not as big as the opposite leg. And I'm not really doing a lot of perspective work with it. Like if I was doing perspective, I would have had this knee facing more towards the camera rather than just splaying to one side. I think it's still pretty good though. Yeah, I was really going heavy with the line art shading here. Like, I was really going heavy with trying to line art the dark spaces of this drawing. And I think it turned out really good. The line art weight is super good on this. Alright, next. This is Tetra from Candy Girl Gum. And I just think this is a cute drawing. A cute little mischievous thing. I feel like the shading was a bit of a challenge just because this character is mostly composed of like really warm colors. And I'm usually using a blue tint for the shading layer. And I think I had to go a few shades darker to make it look good, like good and uniform. But at the same time, the markings of the character, they were kind of obfuscating where the shading lines were. Like, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors on this leg, and they all have to be blended with, like, they're all having to fight with the shading. I think if I had like smoothed out and made a gradient out of the shading for any drawing, it probably should have been this one. Just let the fur pattern be solid and make the shading more fuzzy and indistinct. Yeah, I think it's still very cute though. And then Maylin from Pogger. I was trying to get a very sassy sort of pose with this character. I think it turned out very cute. Like, this definitely feels like a Saturday morning cartoon character that you might see on early aughts Disney. My only real criticism is that I did just sort of use one of the stock texture brushes in Procreate to do the pattern on his shirt, because I didn't really feel like doing a full floral pattern. If I had gone back and did this again, I would have made sure to actually do the floral pattern on his shirt. I think it looks really good though. I think this is a very good pose. This is a very good cartoony pose. And I'm really happy with it. This is Claudia from Novi Rain. And again, we're working with different body types. This is a very chunky character. This is a very soft character with a lot of heft to them. And it is an interesting challenge to try and get, like, breasts and the breasts, the belly, and the thighs to, like, smush in a way that doesn't look like the character is melting, but is also, like, very pleasant to look at. Yeah, I thought this was very good. Again, doing a lot of different body types. Then we have Bolt from Cartoon Soup. I don't think I have much to say about this one. It's just a very solid. Yeah, this is more like what I should have done for Nightwalker, for Dragon Mother, the one with the character that's like pouncing forward. This is more what I should have done for that one. Like, you've got this canine like leaping forward, and it feels very dynamic, but it doesn't feel flat because you've got both sets of legs still attached to them. Yeah, I think this one is very good. Not much to say about it, but I just think it's very good. Then we got Zulia from Zulia. Again, working with some very chunky very chunky body type. I don't think the prancing, the way it looks, the way she looks, it doesn't look quite right, the way she's prancing forward. I think I would have gone over this pose one more time before I actually went into it. I also neglected to do like highlights or anything. I think I was in a rush to get this one out, to just get this one out the door. I'm not proud of that, but I do think it came out very well. I think the actual figure turned out very good. I think the shape of her face and like the jawline, that turned out really good. I think I could have done this way better though if I had just taken the time to toy with positions and poses a bit more before getting into it. All right, Zermi. This is for the food with the dude, and then this is probably one I probably should have listed as a simple shaped character instead of a full body. Whoops. But this is kind of where I started doing something with the shading and the rendering that I would continue to do through the rest of Art Fight. You see on the left side of the character, there's like a highlight line. Like wherever the leftmost part of the character is, there's a bit of a highlighting line. And I started doing that for basically every attack I did going forward. And I think it added a lot of like visual interest to like each piece. I also really leaned into like coloring the line art for this for attacks going forward. Yeah, this is a very cute character. I think the final drawing came out very cute. Let's see. Viridi. I think this is my best dragon of the year. Like, I loved that forest dragon earlier on, that long noodle dragon. But this one turned out so heckin' good. So heckin' pretty. It's such a solid piece, in my opinion. Yeah, I love the pose. I love the rendering on it. I love that the thick line art, like underneath the wing and along the underside of their thigh. Like, I love how chunky the line art is in just the right places, while it's a lot thinner along the outside, like where the light is shining on it. I think this is a perfect balance of dark line art away from the light. I think it just turned out so good. I really hope Zersh. Yeah, I really hope Zersh really enjoyed this. Yeah. Bree turned out so beautiful in your style. Yeah, I am super happy with this one. Definitely in my top 10 this year. And then we got Nolani from Amifatzotl. Again, working with perspective. I don't usually draw things flying towards the screen, so like from a low angle flying towards the screen, like she's about to fly over the viewer. It's a very interesting perspective to have. But I think it turned out really good. If anything, I probably would have done what I was doing for the other, like, perspective drawings and, like, thickened the line art in a few more places and thinned it out in others. But I do love how graceful this feels. Like, this character has a lot of, like, fish aesthetics to it. And I think I really got that feeling that she's swimming through the air. Yeah, very, very good. Very good. And Appy. This is for Kedor87. I was just like, I just saw this creature and thought, oh, that is too cute not to draw. And I think coloring the line art really worked well for this one, just to give it more visual interest. I was genuinely having trouble figuring out what to draw for this one. Like, I was going through a bunch of cat memes and I couldn't find anything I liked, so I'm just like, we'll just do a big stretch. And I think it turned out very, very good. Very cute. We have Celeste for Lucius Wind. I don't draw a whole lot of birds, really. And there is something about this one that I'm just like, it doesn't look quite right. I think the legs aren't positioned very well. I think the extended tail is just sort of, it's just sort of loosely hanging below her instead of like flowing nicely off to one side or the other. It's just sort of flopping below her, and it doesn't quite look very well composed, I think. I think this one is technically sound, but composition and pose-wise, I think it's lacking something. I wouldn't mind trying this character again next year, but that's going to depend on whether or not Lucia still has them up on their page, or if they put any other characters up that I'm more interested in. I think this piece is fine, just not great. And then we have Tam for Lost Illustrator. And I was really interested in this character in particular, just because they were like a seamstress that used ice magic. And I was like, ooh, that's a really fun concept. And I was thinking about a pose of like them holding out their staff, and on the other hand, they've got like these the strings coming off of their fingers, like they were Walter from Hellsing Ultimate Abridged, or no, just Hellsing. I think I could have positioned the hand with the wires a bit better, so that the strings would have come off at a better angle. I think it's a very cool pose, though. I think it's very good at showing off that this character has this string-like magic. I just think I could have gone a little further with the magical effects and like showing like, oh, I could have been showing that the strings are like waving off, like they're loose. They're not quite taut, they're loose. I could have incorporated them into the wind effect. But I think it's solid overall, though. I think it's very good overall. Oh, this one. This is Luna for Neapolico. And I just love this character design. I think I nailed it pretty damn well. Their reference sheet mentioned that they have like a dual staff, but they didn't provide a reference for it, so I just sort of had to just go with whatever, and I think I made a suitable like placeholder, I guess, for whatever their actual staff is. I think it works, but what I'm really most impressed by is just is actually the belt. Like this, all the stuff around their waist. I usually don't like adding too much stuff around the character's middle because I think it adds like too much detail where it's not really needed. But I think this is really good. Like you've got the shawl underneath the belt that's carrying the like the flask and the pouch, and then you've got the it's not a loincloth, it's like a tabard or something. The clothing is just very loose and it flows very nicely, I think. I think the composition of this is really good. And I also love the effect of the magic that I was working with. I think I would have added a bit more glow to the character. Like, make it actually look like the light is coming from their hand. Because I just sort of did what I usually do with shading, is I just have it coming from the upper right side of the picture. That's just sort of my default. Yeah, that's probably the only thing I would have changed. Is like I would have made the lighting actually come from their hand, not from where I would usually put it. All right, so then we've got Pip and Flick for Drac Orbit. I did have a lot of fun putting this one together, just because I do love like characters that are in symmetry with each other, but you can see that they're not quite in the same sort of. They're not quite positioned the same, even if they are symmetrical. Like the character on the left has their right arm like lower down. The character on the right has their left arm higher up. So you can kind of see like the one on the right is very much more excited to be doing whatever they're off to do, while the left one is more reserved. I think a drawing like this is really good at showing that the two are in sync, but they are not lockstep. Like they work well together, but they are not the same person. And we have Kiraji for Crenbot. And again, working with a very, very interesting body proportions. This is a super lanky character with very long, spindly limbs. I just think the pose is just really good. Just tilting the head up, showing off like the jowls or the bottom of the jaw, and just having this arch and curve is almost very seductive sort of like pose. I'm not sure that was what I was going for, but I do think this was a good pose for showing off just how lanky and kind of unnatural this character looks. Yes, very, very good. Very good. Then we got Sayoban for Gigas Bandicoot. And Gigas actually told me that this felt very like late 90s PlayStation platformer in design. And I'm like, yeah, I could see it. I can see this character like running around in a Crash Bandicoot-esque level. I just thought the character was very cute, and the caution bite risk was just very charming. Yeah, my only complaint about this one is that I just did a very basic 3/4 pose, and I didn't really do anything interesting with the actual pose of the silhouette. I think it's good. I think it's technically solid. I just don't think the pose is very good or interesting. Then we've got Peeb from Crunchy Crow, or better known as the as Peeb from How to Be Cool. I heckin' love the shorts. I think they are goofy as hell. I think they are very, very sweet. I can't wait to see the next one. I think the next one's gonna be the 5th one. Yeah, I was like, I just wanted this rabbit to look as cool as possible, but I didn't want to lean too much into the style of the short. I wanted to make sure that my style came out first and foremost. I think I really nailed it. My only criticism is this arm here should have come out further, because it kind of looks like that arm is smaller than the other one. This is a bit of a problem I'm noticing with art when I'm trying to get through it like super fast, is that it's not always, the proportions are not always equal to each other. Like, they're not always, like, an arm might be longer than one arm might be longer than the other, one leg might be bigger than the other. I think if I had slowed down, and if I had like flipped the canvas a few more times, I would have noticed that and had it fixed. But I think it's such a cute drawing. I honestly think this is pretty good. Like, the arm aside, I think this is pretty much perfect as a drawing for Peeb. I think it really captures Peeb's energy. Like, whenever she's not trying to be cool, she just is cool. Like, this is the walk of someone with a lot of confidence. And that's what I really love about Peeb. Right, next, we have Kelvin for Kaboldly Go. I love the proportions on this one. I referenced a Dragonite trading card art for this one, and I might have pulled a bit too much reference from it, but I think it still fit the energy. I think I still put my own spin on it. But yeah, I love how, like, not chunky, but how pear-shaped he is, and like how he's just lazily flying backwards and just yawning. I think this was a really good pose. But one thing I'm really impressed with was just the shading on his belly down to his tail. And I'm kicking myself for not spreading that kind of shading to the rest of his body. I think I leaned too much on the cell shading everywhere else. That bit of shading on his belly being as smooth as it is, it's a little out of place. Yeah, I really should have tried to get some of that smooth shading in other places to make it a little more consistent. I think it's a good drawing overall. It's just that little bit of inconsistency is gonna gnaw at me. Then we got Penumbra for Yorialu. I love this pose. I love this composition. Like, I love this feeling of, like, she's just floating out in space and just basking in the starlight. And I think the colored line art really helps with, like, all the highlights. I think this is some of my best work in terms of the cell shading, getting the cell shading to look really good. I feel like the one thing that could have improved it is actually giving it a good background. Like, you'll notice for all of my attacks, I just did this very simple background of, like, I took 2 squares of, like, comparative colors, or opposing colors to whatever I thought the main color of the character was. I just took 2 boxes of comparative opposing colors, and then I just put a gradient of white over it to just sort of frame the character a bit more. And I think doing that did a disservice to this particular piece. I think I really should have actually made like a proper background and a proper bit of scenery for her. I think the character, the actual character drawing itself is beautiful. I don't think the background is doing it justice, though. So we have Emmy for Emmy, or Emmys. I adore drawing fire. Like, I genuinely do. I think fire is one of those... Initially, it's pretty intimidating to do, but when you can get it right, it is so satisfying and so chill to work on and to get to look well. Yeah, just the glow, the way the flames wave, all like the sparks coming off of it. Yeah, I really enjoy the flames in this. The character itself, I think the actual like line art and the coloring and everything and the flats that's all good. God, I think I dropped the ball on the shading just a bit. I think I leaned too heavy into like, oh, there's one central light source and it's just casting everything on the back half of her in shadow. But at the same time, I don't think I captured it that well. I think it's the highlights layer. Because anything that's cast in like the light of the flame, it's just pure white. It's just pure white. It's just white or gray or somewhere in between. And it doesn't quite capture the idea of like there's this glowing rainbow fire directly in front of the character. Composition-wise, it's great. Line art, fantastic. Fire, oh my god, it's so good. The shading kinda takes it down a peg. It's good, not great. Alright. One more page. We're almost there. Artemis for Loveless Kia. Now, this might be my favorite piece this year. I think I got everything right on this. I love the pose. I love the dynamicness of like they're jumping forward through space. I love the expression. I love how happy they are. Like they've got so much energy in them. I love how I was able to, like on the reference sheet, the eyes are supposed to like be kind of featureless, but I was able to sneak in like those cat eye slits in the shading itself to make sure it gets this expression of like looking forward. Like it's very like they're very excited they're looking at something and they are very excited to like reach out for it. I love the line art. I love that I was really able to like this is another one that's got a lot of balance in like the thickness of anything that's cast in shadow and the thin lines anywhere it's like caught in the light. The shading is really solid. I think this is where I really started to understand like the backlight. All the attempts to make it a little shinier on the left side of the character. I think this is where it really starts coming together. And the colored line art, like wherever the light is shining down on the character, I just add a bit of color to the line art. I think it turned out really good on this one. Yeah, and just the composition of it all too. Like this is really good. Like this looks like splash art for a video game character. I'm so happy about this one. Yeah, I think this might be my favorite piece of the year. Alright. Next is Loop for Fulkindigo. Just a very cute cat girl. Just a very cute pose. This is sort of when I started to tone things back just a bit in terms of like how much effort I was willing to put into each individual attack. It's never to the point where like, oh, I just didn't try. No, I think I still nail it every single time. But I do love just the cute expression on this character, the cute pose. I think the thicker line art really works for this character just to make it look just that little bit more like child friendly, like kid friendly, I guess. Yeah, very, very cute. Very cute. And then we have Chris Cracks for Archie22. Again, the weird perspective on like the bottom of the character's jaw. It's something that is really hard to get right, but I think I nailed it here. Like this idea of like they're looking up and you can see the underside of their beak. I think I could have gone over the hands a bit more. But the rendering on the outfit and everything, this still looks really good. Okay, this is probably the last one I went completely crazy on. And this might be my second favorite after Artemis. This is Oka for Nicholas Cole, who, if you don't know, was one of the lead concept artists on the Spyro Reignited trilogy. And they just joined Artfight this year, so I was like so excited to do an attack for them. This is Oka, a character from a game that they designed that Nicholas was working on that unfortunately got canceled. So I wanted to show my love for like the unsung, unfinished project by drawing the character from it as my first attack against Nicholas. And I think this is almost perfect as a piece of art. Like, I love the shading and the coloring on it. I love that I was able to get good-looking cracks, good-looking wear and tear on this creature. I think it's all really solid, except for the accordion arms. I think I was struggling so much on the perspective of these things and like how they were supposed to like bend and stretch against each other. The accordion arms were really hard to do, and I think they're the weakest part of this entire drawing. It's a great drawing, a phenomenal piece of art. I think the accordion arms killed it for me. Yeah. Like it's very strange. Like if I could take the accordion arms away, if I could just fold them back into the character's body, I think this would have been my favorite piece of the year. But the accordion arms just take it down a few pegs, and yeah, doing something like, if I did something like this again, I would have to practice this sort of like this stretchiness and the weird way accordion fabric bends before I tried something like this again. Really good, just those damn accordion arms. Then we've got Acer from Zawato. Just doing a bit of a pinup pose. They had a very bare bones bit of a reference sheet, but I think the pose turned out very good. I think it's a very good bit of like pinup art, as I would call it. I think the rendering on the body is very good. Like the hip, especially. Like I love that I was able to get every area where the body creases to look really good, like very close to where it should be, like on an actual person. Yeah, I just really, I think this one's just really solid overall. Then we have Choo Choo. Hi, Freighter. Look, Freighter, it's your character. Yeah, it's weird that if I had a nickel for every time I did a skateboarding character this art fight, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice. Honestly, I think I think I didn't do as good a job on this as I did on Dino Lich's skateboarding character. Namely because the character I did for Dino Lich, I made sure that the pose was very dynamic, very like it had a dynamic perspective where you like looking from below as they were like leaping over you. For this one, I really just wanted to keep it a very basic skateboarding pose. And I think it turned out really good. Like, I really love the... Well, first of all, I managed to get the arms to be, like, perpendicular to each other. Like, they don't have that issue with the Dino Lich piece, where one arm, you got one arm, then the shoulders kind of go at a weird angle, then you got the other arm. No, this one looks more well put together in terms of the proportions and the pose. But I do really love the jumpsuit, like the top half of the jumpsuit tied around the waist of the character. The sleeves are just fluttering back behind her. I think it's all like very good. I think composition wise, this is great. My only complaint, I would say, is one, I didn't do a more dynamic pose, but that's whatever. Second thing is, I don't necessarily know if I did a good job on like the fur spots, because I just sort of left like triangles everywhere around her, and I don't know if they look great, or if they look like they look right on the character. It almost looks like just slapped stickers on them without really making them fit with the texture of like the character's coat. I think going forward, anytime I do like patterns on a character's fur, I need to do even like the barest amount of effort in like making them look like they are on the fur, like they are fur patterns. Yeah, this is really solid. Like, I won't deny that, but it is kind of a I don't know, a lesson in how you want to portray the texture of a character without going overboard on it. Yeah, I think next time I do like fur patterns on a character, I'm gonna actually make it look like it's fur and not just shapes stuck to the skin of the character. And now we're getting into the lightning round stuff. Try to get through these pretty quickly. Vesper. I think the line art coloring on this like really helped get the lighting on it good. I do love the little gremlin smile I gave it. This is when I really start leaning into like this sort of stuff, where you can see the smile through the hair, but it's not like you can. It's still the hair's color. It's still the hair's shading. You can just see the liner of the smile through the hair, and I think that really helps to keep the smile like big and defined. And I start doing that with the eyes on a lot of characters during this point. This is Taurus for Jagal. Very handsome lad. Very handsome looking woofer. And yeah, all of these going forward were lightning round attacks that I took like only an hour to get through. Like I was attempting to get through these as fast as possible, and I think a lot of them actually turned out really good. Like my only criticisms for a lot of the ones going forward are just I didn't spend enough time on them. But that was a result of how I was going about this next set of drawings. Like Taurus still looks very good, very handsome. And then we've got Parfait for Lolo the Parasphere. Lolo's a very good friend of mine, and I was very happy to do one of their characters for this. They did tell me afterwards, like, Parfait really isn't the type to do the sort of pose. Hi, Sylvester, welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're just going over our art fight attacks at the moment. I do think this is a very cute drawing, though. Then we've got Moon for Zepura. When it comes to characters that have, like, a... Oh, hi, FNAF for life. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Super heckin' appreciate it. When it comes to characters that have a... like, a black color scheme... it's a little hard for me to do like proper shading for it because I prefer to keep like pure black coloring for the line art and the pupil of the eyes. I much prefer to keep like the pure black to just the line art and the pupils. So when you have a character that is like this darkly colored, it does start to make things a little difficult when it comes to the shading, because if you make it too dark, it starts to blend into the line art. But I think I think they were just light enough that I didn't have to worry about that too much. But I did have to make sure that I went over like everything with like I had to make sure that I got to the highlights at the very least, because I think they really helped to add definition to the hair. They helped to outline like the left side of the character. I just think the expression on this character is very cute. And then we have Secta for Secta the Protogen. Very handsome lad. Very, very glad that I had a chance to like show off his shoulder muscles and his shoulders and a bit of his pecs. I think this is just a very solid sort of like profile picture. I didn't get a chance to add a whole lot of highlights this one because the line art was just way more complicated. And it took a lot of time for me to get through all of it. I think it's very solid, though. We have Milo for PK Bunny. I think this one came out very cute. Again, you can see that I'm trying out this style of making sure you can still see the line art for like the upper eyelids through the hair. It's like help keeping the shape of the expression without overcomplicating the line art. We have Nadia for Aru Kanoda. Very pretty, this one, but it almost has the inverse problem of your black characters, like Moon, where I have a whole lot of room to do like the shading, but pretty much zero room to do any sort of highlights. So I have to kind of make sure that I'm getting enough definition to the shadow to make it seem like it didn't need highlights. But there's also the fact that because I use a specific color for the shading layer, you have to be careful with that because white will just take on whatever color you used for the shading layer. And in this case, it's a blue tint for the shading, so it takes on a blue tint. If I had used the red coloration that I sometimes use, it would have looked more red. But I think the way I did the shading, where I just made it a little softer, a little less cell shaded, like along the mane and the neck, I think it turned out really good. Then we have Alderos for Garligus. Very good smug expression. Very happy with this one. And we have Kachivi for Moody Burb. Very soft expression, like a very kind smile. I kind of ran out of time because, like, again, I was doing all of these within 1 hour, or attempting to. I kind of wish I could go. This is one of those one of those times where I wish I worked on it a bit longer and just added more highlights to it, because you can see, like, I didn't add that sort of backlight effect to this one just because I ran out of time. But I think it's a very cute expression. I also probably would have reworked the way the eyebrows. I probably wouldn't have line arted them, so wouldn't have gone so heavy on the line art for them. Yeah, I was speed running. I was trying to get through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 24 attacks in like the span of a week. So yeah. We have Paxton for Xeris. I still did not finish all of my bookmarks. Well, there's always next year. I had too many. I had like 60 bookmarks at the start of Art Fight. It was insane. Alright, so Paxton's probably the one that suffered the most from the format I was going with, because I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how the line art was going to look and making sure it looked good. And by the time I was done with it, I just didn't have enough time to do like proper shading or highlights. I didn't even have time to like go back over the drawing and like add that thicker, like really get to that thicker line art that helps define the darker edges of the drawing. I got it in a couple places, namely on like the leafy bug texture of the horns, or the flaps on the side of their head. But this one really could have benefited from like another hour, another half hour would have really helped this one out. We got Igra from Non-Bread Loaf. Just a very cute horned frog. I think I could have given some better highlights to this one, or like really make it look like the skin is nice and shiny. As it is, it looks kind of dull, I feel. This is Morta for Banana Spot. And this was an interesting art piece to attempt. Because the character's concept art made it clear, like, oh, they've got so much hair. They've got a big fro. I was like, there's so much hair, they could get lost in it. I'm like, wait a minute, that's what I could draw. I just think it is a nice idea. I think the composition is a little uneven. Because if you notice, there's a lot of space, like, on all sides of her face. I almost wish I could zoom in just a bit more. Instead of just leaving all of this empty space around her. I do love how the glass, the shine on the glasses came out. I think I could have gone heavier on the shine, if I'm being real. I don't think the underjaw of this one is as strong as some of the other characters I've done, like with the perspective, like you can see the underside of their face. I don't think this one turned out quite as well. Because it looks like there's like barely any room for where her chin is supposed to be before you get to the bottom of her mouth. Good idea, kind of so-so in action. We got Camilla for Bananagram. I really like this one just because it was very quick and easy. I got a lot of practice work to do before next art fight, specifically drawing faster. Hey, draw as quick as is comfortable for you. Like, I was drawing quick because that's the goal of art fight for me, is to increase the efficiency of my artwork. But if that's not what you want to get out of art fight, you should be focusing on other things. Like if you want to focus on drawing backgrounds better, then you should be focusing on that, not necessarily drawing faster. You also want to learn how to shade. I would recommend focusing on shading more than speed. Like, speed is one of those things that you should be focusing on last. Yeah, so really love the soft lighting on this one. I think the cell shading on this turned out really good, really soft looking. Then we have Julie for Tiumara, this weed cat. I think this one turned out very cute. I think the face could have, like, I could have made the eyes smaller. Like, something about the face feels like it needs to be gone over again. I think it's fine, but I think it's a little wide and a little, like, flat. I feel like there's not enough forehead. Yeah, it's a pretty good Avatar style picture, but it's not. There's still issues with it that I would have gone over and fixed. This is Vox for Runic. This one's kind of another victim of the format I was doing a lot of these in, like only keeping to 1 hour for each of these. I feel like I could have done a lot more with this character if I had kept drawing it for more than an hour. As it is, it's just okay. I think it's just fine. But I feel like there's a lot of details and refinement that is missing. Like, I missed out on drawing some of the scale patterns on her ears, on the backs of her ears. I missed out on doing some, like, really in-depth shading with a lot of different parts of her. I think it's just sort of all right. Then we have Creed for Jack's Arts. Again, very, very straightforward. Not a whole lot to say about this one. I think I could have done more shading on this one as well. I think it's missing the hair highlights. Like this one and Vox really kind of suffered from not having more time. We have Min for Witchy Who's It. Cute rabbit bard person. Rabbit artist. I still think they looked good, though. Thank you, Soul. So I really appreciate that. I really do. Not a whole lot of criticisms about this one. I think I could have done more with the shading on like the eyebrows. Like this is a moment where I should be experimenting more with how I render objects that are behind the hair. If I'm going to show the line art for them, especially to like this degree over here, if I'm going to show the line art for the object behind the hair, I need to think about how I'm going to render that object through the hair. Otherwise, yeah, I think this is just a really solid piece. We have Zach. Honestly, I think I tackled this in a very generic way. The reference sheet didn't give me a whole lot of details. I just sort of went with, oh, it's in anime, it's a battle shonen anime hero. So I just gave them the very generic spiky hair and expression that I would expect for that. If I'd had time, if I stopped and thought about it a bit more, I probably would have given a more defined, like, expression and, like, body language. I think it's still pretty good for what it is. Just think I probably could have done a lot more with it. Hanny for Hackerman. Again, I love doing smug smiles on dragons, just showing off rows of teeth. Yeah, very, very pretty. Very pretty. I love how I did, like, there's a bit of like lighting inside the eye, like around the pupil, that I'm really happy looks as good as it does. I think I should have chosen a better color to do the line art colors on the horn, because it looks like it's blending into the hair, unfortunately. Still really good. Really enjoy that smirk. Sky, here's another example of darker characters and the issue of having of trying to get the shading on them to look right. So the hair on this character is pure black. Like that is the color that was on the character sheet. So I had to think, okay, in this case, if the actual hair color of the character is pure black, I have to think about how I'm going to get it to pop. So I decided, because the reference sheet has like colored line art already, I was just gonna be like, okay, I'll just use the colored line art that they had and then go over with highlights to kind of like shape the curliness of it. And as you can see, I kind of kept the colored line art with any of the line art that was being hidden behind the hair. Like the top eyelid for the eyes is behind the hairline. So I was making sure the line art was visible there. But when I colored it all in, the line art gets lost. So I figured, okay, well, I'll just make the top eyelid and the eyelashes the same color as the line art that the hair is going to be. And I think it looks really good. I think this looks really solid. I need to draw more people of color to really get used to really figure out how they are supposed to be shaded and colored. It's something I've been meaning to work on. I think it's turned out really good, though. It's very soft looking, too. Then we have Bon Bon for Heartspark. A Lopunny clown girl. This is one where I actually did use red as the shading color because I thought it helped bring out the pink of this character. This character is very pink, and honestly, all of Heartspark's characters are very pink. And I didn't want to lose any of that in the shading by coloring any of it blue. I wanted that warm pink coloration to every part of this. So I stuck with red as the primary shading color. I think it turned out beautifully, actually. I love the expression. I love how happy she looks. I love that I allowed the pupil of the eye to be pink rather than just the same shade of black as the line art. I think with how big the irises were, they really needed to let that color shine through to keep the expression from looking like too creepy or eerie. Because that much pupil being black it kind of just makes it look like a black hole. Like a doll's eyes. Yeah, really happy with this one. I think I would have gone over the color another time. Like, I would have studied how colors are usually drawn. Because the color does kind of feel a bit slapdashed. Like, it's not as good as it could be. Erudite for Gosh Heck. Again, very good, just very solid profile picture. And we've got Drake for Pencil Cat. Again, really toying with like lighting and glow for like the fire coming off of this character's tongue. Also dabbling again in the idea of using paint to get the scales in. I think this one's pretty good. I wish I had done it earlier in the month so I could get the whole dragon in. Because this character has actually been on my bookmarks for a long time, like a few years now, and I'm only just now getting to it, and it's during the point in Art Fight where I'm doing the lightning round stuff. And then finally, because someone thought they could get something in under the clock, I've got another drawing for Hajoken. This is Chrissy. This is the same artist behind the pink-haired character. Hajoken did a mass attack that included one of my characters. I was like, oh no, I'm not missing out on getting revenge for that. So here is like a very quick ink pen and not markers, but like a light. Yeah, this is just a pen drawing through and through. I'm glad I was able to get this done as quickly as I was. You leave a comment. Yes, you did. I'll read that later. All right. So yeah, that's 67 drawings that I did this year. Holy shit. So that was like almost 2.5 pages worth of art. I saw someone who waited to do a huge mass attack until 5 minutes before it ended just so that people couldn't revenge it. That's dirty. That's so dirty. All right. Well, that was all of my work. Let's go all over all of the defenses I got this time. All right. So first thing we got was this picture of Zachary from Ginger Alert as revenge for me drawing Doe. Very cute. I love the way the line art looks. It's very much like crayon or chalkboard or chalk. Very cute, very cute. Then we've got be sure to label your kobolds correctly by Widget the cat. It's dropping that sticky note right on Ziggy's head. Then we've got Zygmunt pondering his tragedy mask. This is from Dragon Mother. My only critique of this would be to pay more attention to the line thickness because it's not really... Like, it doesn't seem like there's consistency in where the line thickness is applied. I think it's a great composition, though. I think it's a great idea, though. Just going with the tragedy, mystery, and comedy aspect of Art Fight. We have Pretty Circles from Pogger. Just a nice sort of like my snake character beckoning at the viewer. Very cute. We've got this piece from Minion of the East. Minion actually drew Shane a few years back, and they said that they attacked Shane again just to like show off their progression. I think they progressed pretty good. I think they're really working on their style. This is Candy Girl Gum's. This is Attack from Candy Girl Gum. Again, maybe work on the line art thickness consistency. That's my only criticism, but I just love that I'm still getting art of Rhodium, one of my dragon characters. Very cute, very, very much enjoyed seeing him. Then we get Lost Media VHS rip from Ginger Snap. I gushed so much over this piece when it dropped because the story that Shane is from is very much inspired by a lot of anime. Like, I do not consider myself much of a weeb anymore, but the effects are still there, and I really love the idea of like you could find this lost DVD or this lost VHS of this forgotten anime. Very cool, very cool. Then we got Sweet Like Wine from Gigas Bandicoot of my Demon Queen character Cabernet. Very nice, very nice. And then this is probably my favorite defense I have gotten this year. Lost Art, A Battle of Fire and Ice. Like, this is probably the best drawing I have ever gotten of Shane. It perfectly encapsulates like his confidence, his strength as a wielder of magic. As a wielder of like elemental fury. Just the way the line art and the color just sort of blurs in these spikes, like these paint strokes that are just coming off of his body as he is moving forward, like gathering energy in his hand and his sword. Yeah, this is my favorite piece of the year. Yeah, this is badass. Much love to Lost Art. This is great. And we have Coboldly Go doing Ziggy sketching just a bit. Very nice, very nice. Very cute. Again, I always appreciate work of Ziggy and Vivid, my dragon, whenever anyone gives it to me, because they are the mascots of what I do. Alright, then we have In the Zone by Cartoon Soup. Just Zachary walking around reading the book, telling everyone to not... telling someone, don't bother me. Do not look at me. I am busy reading. Which is very much something I did back in high school. Like, I would check out a book in the morning for the library, and I'd be reading it in the hallways as I was moving from class to class. He looks like he would say, actually, you're not incorrect. You're not wrong. Zachary would definitely say that. He'd definitely be the one to try and get you to like be one of the ones to try to correct you on something. Then we have In the Skies from Fulkindango. Very cute, very cute. Again, always love seeing Rhodium. He's one of my babies. Really love the way the shading is done with like the very painted sort of brush strokes. Yeah, it's a very coloring book sort of design for him. Then we have Flying by Archie22. Absolutely love this one. Like, I love this almost looks like a chalk drawing. Like, this looks like something that someone drew on, like, the sidewalk in a way that if you stood at a certain position and saw from a certain perspective, you would get this drawing. But, like, the texture is very chalk-like. Like, this looks like a chalk drawing you would find on a sidewalk. Very good. Very excellent. Gives him a very soft look. Then we have Friendly Masseuse from Emmy Fat Zodal. This is my Goodra boy, Glaucus. He's a very good boy. I want to smooch him. I want to pinch those cheeks and smooch him. I do love Ami's stuff, so it was very exciting to see them. Hey, I am not skipping anything, Soul. No. We are not skipping anything. Very cute pose. Very cute piece of work. Just a good smile and a good victory pose and a good victory gesture. So the only criticism I would give of this, and it's a minor criticism, so don't worry. Anna is 12, and she does not have defined breasts yet. Like, that's literally my only criticism of this, is like, why did you give her assets like that? That's the only thing I have to criticize. This is still really cute. I really love this. So thank you very much, Soul. Super heckin' appreciate it. Then we have Freighters, I Swore an Oath. A reference to Jean-Pierre Polnareff's pose. One of Jean-Pierre Polnareff's most famous poses. Zane getting ready to make 20 art fight attacks per day every day for a whole month. I don't think I'll ever go that crazy. That's still a very accurate way to surmise what I have been doing this month. I did go a little crazy. Yeah, I do really love this though. I do love a good JoJo pose, so seeing Ziggy in this is really fun. I really love this. Then we have Jonathan Russell from Hajoken. Yeah, very good chibi style. I really do enjoy a good chibi style too. Really simplify the character down to what makes them that character. And I think this really nails the key design aspects of Jonathan. Oh, wait, getting ahead of myself there. Vivid Dreams by Mooneyburb. Look at my boy. Look at how handsome he is. Look at how handsome this Durgan is. Oh my gosh, I love him. I love the like half-lidded eyes too. Like he knows he's hot. He knows he's attractive. Gosh, I love him. Such a handsome fellow. Yes, exactly. Then we have by Debathy. God, I asked Dean to cut Xander out of this just so I could have this as an emote and a sticker. And I forgot, and I'm still forgetting to actually add an emote with this. I have to replace one of the current emotes with it though, unfortunately. But I do love this just concerned look. Very good, very fun. Now we get to Runic's bit. Pondering the Orb, I see. Like, people forget that Ziggy is supposed to be like a like cannon height kobold from Dungeons and Dragons. Like, Ziggy is only like 2.5 feet tall. Like, everyone else is gonna tower over him. And, like, this is just a very fun scene. I really do appreciate this from Runic. He is punt kickable. You can try, but he's used to flying around. He's a dragoon. He'll get back up no problem, and then he'll be drop kicking you with the sharp end of a spear, most likely. Yeah, this is just a fun scene. Ziggy does love pondering big round objects, I will say. We have this cute little piece from Gem Princess. Very nice, very nice. And then Under the Moonlight by Yori. This and Lost Arts piece were like neck and neck for what my most favorite defense was this year. God, this is so good. This is so beautiful. And yeah, this really makes my boy look handsome too. But I just love how the moonlight shines through his feathered wings. It's so good. Yeah, big thanks to Yori. This is really nice. And then we have False Skin by Xerace, which I am really happy with this one in particular because the thing about Licorice that I've been trying to like show off in like the concept art and everything is that this is a slime monster that built a body for itself. But it is still a monster at the end of the day. It's still a slime monster that once you peel back all the clothing and the skin is just this thing that will likely drag you down into somewhere dark and unpleasant to devour you. Yeah, this is super solid. Super heckin' love this. I just love the idea of her like tearing her outer shell off so that she can more effectively get at whoever she's got in mind. Yeah, horrifying. I love it. And lastly, we have some revenge from Hackman. Again, my handsome boy. I love this one. I love it so much. So handsome. Love the dark lips and the dark circles around the eyes. A very smoldering look. Award-winning smirk right there. Yes, exactly. All right. Yep. Battle of Fire and Ice. Definitely my favorite defense I have gotten this year. And then Artemis. That's my favorite attack I've made. Yeah, I think this year was so good. Like, even though the free time I got from losing my job is the only reason why I'm... Yeah, the amount of free time I got from losing my job, like, it sucks that had to happen to me, but I am glad that I am getting something out of it at the very least. This was a phenomenal year for me. I'm so glad of all the art I was able to make, all the people I was able to collaborate with as well. Like, there's a bunch of pieces in here that are the direct result of Tikri's community attacks days. Like this one is one of those. Like, Artemis was the result of a community attack against Loveless Kia. So big thanks to Tikri for putting that together. In fact, shout out. All right. Well, that's all I really wanted to do for this stream. Like, I fully intended this stream to be as short as it was, because I just wanted to look through all the art I made, all the art I got, and just sort of like celebrate everything we got done this July. So, thank you guys so much for coming by and hanging out. Let's find someone to raid, why don't we? Who is on? Shenpai, Tikri, Azura, Poji. Real quick, could you look at my account? No, I don't think I'm gonna do that. Sorry, Soul. Yeah, let's raid Tikri. I want your opinion on the way I... Yeah, no, we're just gonna raid. All right, start that raid. Thank you all so much for coming by and hanging out while I went over all of this. I super heckin' appreciate you guys being here. This is the last stream before I kind of go on... before I go on a short vacation. I'm still going to be working on stuff over this next week. I'm still going to be doing some updates to my overlay. I'm still going to be doing stream stuff. Mostly though, the streaming stuff is just going to be a... I'm going to be participating in the Big Walk with Tikri on Tuesday, when that comes out. And then Wednesday night, maybe... Friday and Saturday night, I will be hanging out with Adi as we do Final Fantasy XIV. Friday and Saturday will be Final Fantasy XIV. Wednesday, I'll just be watching Adi. But yeah, thank you guys again. If you want to support me, please check out my VGen. Always super happy to see that. All right, let's go raid Tikri. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. 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 So long. Farewell. I'll need to say goodbye.